Guys, we're going to be talking about arguably one of the most interesting commanders from this set, the Master Multiplied. 4 black, red. So he's a legendary creature, Time Lord Rogue, and he has Myriad, and he also has the legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control. Lastly, he has the trigger abilities you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. He's a 4/3. So this just basically allows you to not sacrifice your creature tokens. So our first category is going to be token creators. That just basically allow you to create them and then they won't be sacrificed. First up, we got Chancellor of the Forge for 4 red, red, red. And this card just can really just create a lot of 1/1s when into the battlefield. And this is just going to be a copier. You're just going to copy and get many 1/1s. Then we got Banshee of the Dead Choir. And this card has Myriad, which it has the definition of Myriad, which creates a lot of copies of it. And those copies do not die if you have your commander out, which we have a lot of Myriads. But when it does deal combat damage, you get a player to discard a card. And also, the copies do have Myriad, so it just keeps duplicating. Next up, we got Delina Wild Mage, and she's for 3 red, and you can copy many creatures. And you can even copy her with her ability because of our commander that legend rule does not apply. So you can create a lot of tokens of copies of whatever creatures you want. Then we got Elturel Survivors, and these guys have Myriad and Trample, and they can get really big according to the amount of lands your defending player controls. So if they have like 7 lands, 7/4. If they have just a couple, maybe just 4/4. Then we got Emrakul's Hatchery, and it's 4 red. And when it's the battlefield, put 3/0/1 colors Eldrazi spawn creature tokens onto the battlefield. Yeah, so then it also just like sacrifice them, but you can sacrifice them to get add 1 colorless mana, but that does not that's not a trigger ability, that's an activate ability, so that does not actually so our commanders not protect them from that sacrifice ability, so they still die. Then we got Feldon of the Third Path, which we could pay for that mana to create a token of a copy of a target creature and then sacrifice it, which we don't sacrifice it. Then we got Flamerush Rider, and then this can also copy in their creature and just keep it forever. Then we got Gnoll War Band, and this card also has Myriad. They have Menace, so they're going to be hard to block, and they can also be cheaper to cast for each opponent who was dealt damage, which we have a lot of Myriad, and we have like just go Y, attack every opponent, so this could be really easy. Then we got Jaxis, the Troublemaker, and she's really good because we can just pay 1 mana, discard a card, and then we can create a card, and then it doesn't die. And then we got Mirage Phalanx, and this card also copies another creature, and we just keep, it has a soulbound thing, which is a little confusing, but if we can do that soulbound thing, we just can create a copy again. Then we got Orpheon, did not pronounce that right probably, Hero of Lavabrink, and so we could probably just copy like a creature with the first ability, or even if we can have enough mana for the second ability, we can just create 5 copies that do not die, so that can be really good. Then we got Riona, Fire Dancer. So we don't have any instant sorceries in the deck, but the thing is we still get 1. And 1, we still get 1 thing that's never gonna die unless your opponent target removes or exiles it. So that's really good. Then we got Skullport Merchant, and 2 black. You can just create treasure token when it's the battlefield, which can be also pretty good. His other ability could be decent, but we're probably not gonna use that because it does actually sacrifice a creature. Then we got Tiamat's Phalanx, and this card's really good because it has haste and it has Myriad, so we can create a lot of copies. We also got Willy Goblin, which this card just enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Yep, pretty good. Also, just like Skullport Merchant. Then we got Determined Iteration, and this card is just, we create a token of anything, and then we just sacrifice it, but we don't actually sacrifice it. We got Flameshadow Conjuring, and then this can also pay red, just we can to create a copy of a token of a creature. And this is a non-token, so our tokens do not trigger this. Then we got Mirror March, and this card is just the same thing, just we flip, and the amount of times we get a win, we can just keep just doing it over and over again. And then we got Urbas Forge, and this card is really good because we can just, each turn, we get a bigger and bigger one. So first turn, we get a 1/1, 1/1, 2/2, 2/2, and then later on, actually it's not 2/2, it's 2/1, but later on we get like 5/1, 6/1, 7/1, 8/1. Later in the game, if we can get this really early, it's gonna be really good. And we got Blade of Selves, and this card is really good because it just gives equipped creature Myriad or red, so you can get like a really good ETB card or a really good like copier card. We can get many of them. And now we got extra triggers. These are the cards that can attack, just give us extra ETB triggers or even ETB triggers. So first up, we got Charming Scoundrel, and she's really good because we can just enter the battlefield. We get a great treasure token, some card draw, a wicked roll, equipment, not equipment, a aura, and yeah, it's decent. And then we got Combustible Gearhulk, and this card's really good, I would say, because each turn we can either draw 3 cards. Well, I mean, not each turn, we can keep copying it over and over. But our opponent chooses whether they mill or draw cards, draw 3 cards. So I don't think your opponent's going to want to mill the cards, because if they mill, they lose a little life. But if we draw the cards, we just add so much value each turn. And then we got Demon's Discipline and Disciple. And this card, just each turn, each player sacrifices a creature. And that is a trigger ability, so that means if we choose a token, that means we do not have to actually choose it. So that means our opponents sacrifice a creature and we don't. Then we got Etali, Primal Storm, and this card's really good because we can just each turn we can attack it. The token probably have haste because most of our creatures that create copies give them haste, so we can just do many triggers of Etali each attacking them. We can exile so many cards of players' libraries and all cast them for free. Then we got Firbolg Flutist, and this card just really good, just gaining control of creatures, and then we can also give it Myriad, so that could be really good. Then we got Gonti, and he just offers so much card advantage, and we really get so much card advantage from it. Then we got Kalain, Reclusive Painter, and she also creates a treasure token, which we can also, if we have a lot of her, we can get many 1/1 pluses for each treasure tokens, which we have a lot of treasures, so yeah, that's pretty good. And then we got Kador, Doomscourge, and this guy just makes all your opponent's creatures not be able to attack us. And then attacking creatures, whenever they die, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, so that could be really good. Then we got Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger, which is also pretty good because we sacrifice him, and the tokens do not actually sacrifice themselves, because remember, the tokens cannot sacrifice. But when we enter the battlefield, we can make each opponent discard card, or they'd have to lose 3 life. That's really good. Then we got Noxious Gearhulk, and this card just destroys target creature, and then we can also just gain life equal to its toughness. Then we got Plaguecrafter, and then this card also makes us just sacrifice a creature, a token, and that can be pretty good. Then we got this card, which could be pretty good because we just get to just put a card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield if we want to each time, and we just keep copying and get so many of them. Then we got Ravenous Chup Cabera, okay, and we can just destroy target creature and opponent controls. Then we got Solemn Simulacrum, and this card just enters the battlefield, we get some mana, so it's really good, just right. Then we got a card that goes in like every deck. It just doubles up our triggers and all of our ETB triggers, and that's really good. Now we got target removal, and these are just gonna remove our opponent's creatures. So we already covered most of these, but one of them is just Abrade, just really good. Chaos Warp. We can also use this on our token, because if we have a token that we don't really want, we could just get a different card. Then we got Rakdos Charm. It can just destroy our artifact, or we can deal 1 damage for each creature. We definitely don't want to do that one, probably. If we have a lot of creatures, that can be really good. But we can also, that can be really good, just exiling target player's graveyard also. Then we got Feed the Swarm, and that can just destroy target creature enchantment, and then we lose life still. Now we got Ramp. We already covered a lot of Ramp, but we got Soul Ring, obviously. We got Arcane Signet, Command Sphere, Fellwar Stone, Mind Stone, and then Rakdos Signet, Thrandyma. Thrandyma is really good in this deck because it just really allows you to get 3 mana for 4. That's just really good. Not so good as Thrandyma. We got Warm Power Stone because our command is really expensive. We do need a lot of really good ramps, so this card's still pretty good in the deck. Then we got Dark Ritual, which this card's really good because we can just get our commander 2 turns early. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find this helpful, and I hope you make the deck. The deck list will be in the description below. Subscribe because I won't maybe making more if you guys do not subscribe and like this video.